Chapter 8, the week before. So much of what is best in us is bound up in our love of family that it remains the measure of our stability because it measures our sense of loyalty. As with anyone having a premarital affair, the lies got bigger and the deception grew. Christopher during this time says he felt dark. He felt that he had definitely changed and not for the good. This may sound like a ruse and may sound like he is blaming the murders on something else, but he says that is not the case. Darkness would have to fill a person who could plan to kill his family because he has a mistress he wants to be with. Darkness enters through a person's mind and makes one feel it's fine to plan and carry out dark things. The individual reasons away the good and makes the bad choice. It empowers the person to feel he is commissioned to do whatever he wants to do. Was Christopher temporarily insane that morning? No. Or oppressed by a dark spirit? Whatever it was, it prevailed. Knowing what we do about what was about to happen, in hindsight, it's hard not to look at it as darkness that was hovering over their home. That fateful morning. Shanann did not know, and she might not have felt anything unusual. His plan is lurking over his home. He must have felt empowered, knowing all things are going as planned. Much has been posted on YouTube about the spirits and sightings that were left in the home. If spirits can dwell in an empty house, that spirit could still be there, which would make sense why things have happened since no one has lived there. The person buying the house next should definitely have the house blessed. Or just run up in that bee with some sage the whole house. And I don't think no bad spirits is up in there exactly. Consider Matthew 12 in the Bible. If there's scriptures, I'm not reading them. No offense to anybody, I'm just not doing it. When an impure spirit comes out of a person, later Christopher will tell you when and how that happened. It goes through arid places seeking rest and does not find it. Then it says, I will return to the house I left. When it arrives, it finds the house swept clean and put in order. Then it goes and takes with it 7 other spirits more wicked than itself, and they go in and live there. If there were spirits in the home, they are not the spirits of Shanann, Nico, Bella, and Celeste. They aren't hating and mad. They are in the most beautiful place there could ever be, heaven. Sandy says her experience was beautiful and did not feel like a haunting. Any kind of a spirit that haunts is evil. Christopher talked about how eerie his house was after the murders. How is it a man's love for his children isn't more powerful than the act of murdering them? The forces of evil are not greater than the forces of good, unless we have allowed that evil to take deep root. Christopher had read the fathers do not kill their children, but he did. Why was Christopher not able, as a grown man, to see the consequences? No one can imagine the conflict of good and evil and what must have gone on in his head. Yet he says when his mind went to getting rid of his family, it stayed there. This is one of the things Christopher did not tell the FBI. The thought of killing the girls did not just come into his head one morning of the rage. This is something he had been fantasizing about for a while. Fantasizing, I can't. He planned Shanann's murder, and he planned the girls' murders. He is a piece of shit. When he was distant and withdrawn from her, in his mind, he was planning how he could kill her. He said he had been having these thoughts for a couple of weeks. He says he knows he had not chosen to have an affair with Nikki. If he had not chosen to have an affair with Nikki, he would not have killed his family. That's not fair. That's not right. Christopher does not know why he killed Shanann, Nico, Bella, and Celeste. By his own admission, he wanted to be with Nikki, no matter what, even if it meant he needed to kill his family so he could be free to be with her. Yeah, but he didn't have to kill his family to be free to be with her. He was already free to be with her. You get a divorce. That may not be a big surprise to many people, but Christopher, until now, has not admitted it. His mother kept asking him why. He would not tell her. He ended up telling her she would find out when she read this book. However, there is still a lot of denial by his family that Christopher killed his family. Good grief. Girl, bye. The Watts family came home on August 7th. The day Shanann and her girls left North Carolina would be the last day they would ever make that trip. It's the last time she would hug her family goodbye. It was the last she would ever see her family. The little girl, so innocent and trusting, waved goodbye and left to face a horrible death. For Bella, a horrible, violent death. Oh, this makes me cry. I can't. Things were very strained between the two of them. Shanann kept asking Christopher if he was having an affair. Her friends kept telling her she needed to find out, but he kept denying it. She only had 6 days left of her life. Oh, goodness. Does a person have feelings of death leading up to something like this? Especially since a mom has a sixth sense about her children? No one saw it coming. Cindy Watts said she doesn't understand why she didn't see it coming. She has repeatedly said there was no signs there was anything wrong. Though some of the videos Shanann posted, you can feel the excitement she had for life, for her home and family. She shows how she loves her friends and was willing to help them find the joy for life she had. It was very hard to read the text between Shanann and her girlfriends about Christopher's cold and hurtful behavior. He was building walls between them, and this is disturbing, knowing what he was planning. But this was something she had no control over. Okay, y'all, that was Chapter 8, and we'll be going to Chapter 9, The Weekend of the Murders, next. See you next video.